Hello. Okay, in this exercise, I'm going to show you how to complete the base plate on page 20 of the Interpreting Engineering Drawings book, the 8th edition. So I'm in the 8th edition, Interpreting Engineering Drawings for MCT 115 or CAD 1. I'm on page 20. I'm going to show you how to make the base plate. Okay, step 1 is beginning a new SolidWorks file by navigating up to File, New, and Part. Now I want to set up SolidWorks, making sure that my units are inches, pounds, and seconds. Making sure that I add material. In this example, I'd like you to add plain carbon steel by right-clicking in the graphics area over material not specified and choosing plain carbon steel from the quick list. Next, I want to verify that I have ANSI drafting standard. So I'm going to navigate up to the Options button. I'm going to click the Document Properties tab. And I'm going to switch out of ANSI and go into ISO and then go back into it. And the only reason why I have to do this is because there's a glitch in SolidWorks that they haven't repaired, and it changes the drafting standard. So you have to switch out of it and then go back into ANSI every time. And all ANSI is a company that standardizes how dimensions look on a blueprint. So we want to make sure that we're using the correct drafting standard. Other than that, your file is ready to go, but like I suggest to everyone, you definitely want to save your work before you even start it. So I'm going to go up to the File drop-down menu, select Save As, and I'm going to save this to my desktop. And I'll call it base plate. That way, if I ever need to find the base plate again, I can do a quick search and find it because I saved the file name as the part name. Okay, now the 3 steps in modeling is pick a plane, draw a sketch, make a feature. So our first step is picking a plane. So for these exercises on page 20, I'm going to use the top plane. So I'm going to left click on the top plane and click the sketch button. Notice your origin or your anchor point. That's what your origin is. It's the anchor point for all geometry and dimensions and relations in your model. And how I want to draw the base plate, how I want to start is with the 2.2 inch diameter circle. So now that my sketch toolbar is lit up, and if you're on the wrong toolbar, you can just click on them. But when you begin a new sketch, SolidWorks will automatically light up the sketch toolbar for you. You'll also notice that there is a red X and a finish button icon in the upper right hand corner. So we know that we're working inside of a sketch right now. So we've chosen the top plane. Now we have to draw something. Okay, so we're going to use this geometry to draw a shape or a series of shapes. So I'm going to start with a circle, and I'm left clicking, and when I bring my cursor near the origin, it kind of lights up with this little yellow icon, letting me know that I am gluing the center of the circle directly on top of that origin. And then another left click, and we've got a circle. You'll notice that the geometry is blue, means it is underdefined. And if geometry is underdefined, it means it can move, it can flex. So I don't want it to move. So I'm going to come up to my sketch toolbar and I'm going to use Smart Dimension. Smart Dimension is going to change the size of this circle. Smart Dimension is going to be used for everything. So here's my circle. I'm going to click the circle itself and then place the dimension off to the side somewhere. And now I have a 2.2 inch diameter circle, and you'll notice the color changed to solid black, letting me know that it is fully defined. SOLIDWORKS does not need any more information to complete this circle. And once I delete the dimension by clicking on it and hitting the delete key, you'll notice it turns blue, and then I can change its size again. But that's not what we want. We want this to be 2.2. Okay, and this zooming in and zooming out is being done by scrolling the middle mouse wheel forward or backwards. Okay, you can also use your heads-up toolbar to zoom to fit. So if you're zoomed way far out, you can click the zoom to fit button and it will bring your shape back. You can zoom to different areas of the screen. So don't be afraid to use your heads-up toolbar and poke around and practice and see what these buttons do. Okay, so here's my circle. Now I'm going to draw a triangle using the line command. And I'm using SOLIDWORKS as a guide here. You can see when I bring my cursor above the origin or in line with it, it gives me that little dotted line. So it helps me to draw shapes a little bit better. And I'm just going to use the line command, and it may take some practice, but you're going to draw 3 lines, make sure that the corners are connected. And now we're going to put a fillet or an arc in all 3 of these corners. And that's easy. And one of the easiest commands to use is the sketch fillet tool. So I'm going to go ahead and click the sketch fillet tool, and I'm going to enter in 0.6 as a radius. That's what my fillet parameters are going to be. That's what the print shows on page 20 for the base plate. It says 3xr.6, which means there are 3 fillets that all have a radius of 0.6. And now this blue box is looking for me to select 3 intersections. These 3 intersections right here, and it does not matter how you order them. So I'll click this one, I'll click this one, I'll click that one, and I'll hit the green check mark. Actually, I guess it kind of does make a difference. The very last fillet that I added is where the dimension left off. So pretty interesting. Okay, so now I want to make sure that this point stays in line with the origin. Okay, and we can do that a number of ways. I can use a center line and connect these 2 dots, and then tell SOLIDWORKS that this line that I just drew is vertical. That's one way to do it, and now it stays in line. Or another way to do it is to add a relation and tell SOLIDWORKS that this point and this point are vertical. Either way, this point and this point have to remain in line, so you'll have to get them in line somehow. And now these ends are free floating. Actually, everything's moving. So we still have a lot of missing information here. So I'm going to go ahead and add a dimension from point to point to try to help control that size. So I'll add my 3.9, and you'll notice that my geometry looks a little funny right now. I may have to slide this over just a little bit. I'm going to try to be careful. And let's see, what else can I add? Looks like we need another circle. So I'm going to draw a circle again. And I'll even make it bigger than the whole triangle. And then before I hit the green check mark, I'm going to hit for construction. And that's going to turn that circle from a regular solid black a solid black feature circle to a construction circle. So let's give this circle its diameter of 4.5, which is also in the book. I'll put the dimension over here somewhere. And now my goal is to make sure that all 3 of these points are connected to that circle. And that's where I'm going to add some more relations. So I'm going to go to Add Relation. I'm going to click this point, which is the center of this arc, and I'm going to click that circle, and I'm going to glue them together using a coincident relation, and then hit the green check mark. And I want to do that all the way around. I want to make sure that the center points of each of these fillets are touching that circle. And look at that. With those three relations added, I have given SOLIDWORKS enough information to fully define the entire sketch. The last thing I'm going to do is add these three holes that are 0.6 in diameter. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the circle in each location, and I'm going to dimension just this top circle diameter to 0.6. You'll notice how it's fully defined and the other two remain blue. The other two are underdefined, but I want them to be the same diameter as this circle. So instead of dimensioning the 0.6 over and over and over again, I'm going to go back up to Add Relation, and I'm going to select all three of these circles and force SOLIDWORKS to make them equal, so that when I change this diameter from 0.6 to like whatever, 2 inches, they all change. And I can change it back to 0.6, and I can control the geometry a lot easier. So here are my dimensions. All of these dimensions came from page 20 in the book. And that's it. So at this point, we have chosen the top plane. We have used sketch geometry to draw this shape. And now that I'm satisfied with the sketch, I'm going to hit the Finish Sketch icon. And you'll see that it's highlighted in your feature manager. And on my end, it says Sketch 1. If yours says something different, that's because you've tried it multiple times. And every single time you jump in and out of a sketch, it adds numbers up for you. So I've done it once, so I'm on Sketch 1. I'm going to make sure that Sketch 1 is highlighted. And now I'm going to turn this shape into a feature. So I'm going to navigate over to my Features toolbar. I'm going to click the Extrude Boss Base button to give this shape some thickness. And let's make it a 1/4 inch thick. In fact, all the shapes on page 20 can be a 1/4 inch thick plain carbon steel. Alright, so there's the shape. The next video, I'm going to show you how to build the offset link.